Welcome back to 4-5 Sports. Today we're going to be talking about our 5 greatest games that we've ever watched. I guess we'll just get it off and everybody will go one at a time.
Yeah.
Colin, why don't you start it?
Me to start? All right, these aren't in any specific order. The first game I had was the 2019 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 7 between the Raptors and the 76ers whenever Kawhi hit the game winner.
Joel Embiid crying.
Yeah, Joel Embiid cried afterwards.
That's a great game winner. Yeah.
All right, my first one was we're going to go college baseball here, and Oklahoma State was hosting a regional, but Allie P was underwater, so we played in Bricktown. We got down a bunch against Nebraska, and we're down the whole game until the, I believe, the top of the ninth or the bottom of the eighth, one of the two. Trevor Boone, 3-run shot to take the lead. It's a pretty electric environment.
That was gross.
Broke the sign.
Yeah.
And the bat flip, I mean.
Oh, yeah. He knew it as soon as he hit it. He went it. Boom. He said it. You can watch his mouth when he hit the ball.
My first one was 2016 World Series Game 7. The Cubs versus the, I'm supposed to call them the Guardians now.
They were the Indians at the time, so it'd be incorrect if you said it was the Guardians.
It was just pretty much the whole game was close, and then it went into a rain delay, and that kept the suspense up. So
It was a really good game.
Then Rajay Davis.
yeah,
I did it. Off of Roldis.
My first one was West Virginia versus Oklahoma State in the Big 12 tournament. Would that have been 2020?
2020 basketball.
Yeah, basketball. It was the first round, so it really didn't mean a whole lot, but
Meant
just
the
the way the
world,
game
dude.
had ended and like the last 5 minutes was back and forth the entire time. And at the very end, Sean McNeil hit like a 3, but it was after time expired, so it was just really cool to be able to win that game.
And be there. And it was,
Yeah.
Back and forth game. My first game was OK State versus Texas 2018 football. We weren't the greatest that year. I mean, we made a bowl game obviously, but we had Taylor Cornelius as our quarterback. We weren't, like I said, the greatest, but we weren't ranked. Texas was number 6, I believe, so the place was packed, and we wore throwback Barry Sanders jerseys, and Tylan Wallace just killed the secondary, had 2 electric touchdowns. I don't know, it was a great game.
I think he had like 240.
Yeah, and then at the end of the game, number 44, I don't remember his name. You might.
Breckenhager.
There you go.
Yeah, linebacker.
Yeah, he just charged our guys, and then Herman and Gundy came into the middle, and the crowd was electric.
Throwing his arms up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do it at work time.
Right.
But my second game was the 2015 Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Seahawks when they should have ran, or the Seahawks should have ran, but they decided they were going to throw a slant.
It's a good one.
Malcolm Butler decided to call game.
It was. What's that one guy that they had at receiver that caught that crazy pass for the Seahawks?
White dude. Curse, wasn't it?
Kurt, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
They
think it was.
bobbled 6 times.
Yeah, and that was a great catch.
I think my second one was Bama Clemson. I believe it was 2017, the national championship, and it was very back and forth the whole game. And they had time to run one more play, or they should kick a field goal, and Deshaun Watson hit Renfro for a touchdown. I was definitely rooting for Clemson. So
Yeah.
I think most people were that game with
Yeah.
I
that.
remember that game too.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
my second one was 2013 whenever Baylor came to Stillwater for football. They were ranked number 4, and we ended up beating them 49-17. And Clint Shelf had 4 touchdown passes.
I remember Bryce Petty had a 40-yard touchdown run, but he tripped at the 5-yard line. And then they fumbled on the 1-yard line, and they didn't get across the 50 the rest of the game. It was over from that point forward.
I believe Game Day was there for that too.
I think so.
I believe.
I think so.
My second one is Stanford versus Oklahoma State football in the 2011 Fiesta Bowl. I feel like that's one of Oklahoma State's biggest wins in football, I would say.
Probably is.
And
Two
just
Fiesta Bowls.
some of the guys that Stanford had,
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
You didn't know it at the time, but now looking back at it,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just some of the guys that Stanford had, like Ty Montgomery, Zach Ertz, Andrew Luck at quarterback, and then some of our guys, Justin Blackman, Whedon,
Joseph
guys
Randall.
like that. Yeah, that was a really good season. That was a good way to cap it off, especially in overtime.
My next game was the Rams versus Chiefs 2018. I mean, I believe it was either Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. I believe the final score was 54-51 Rams. And it was just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you didn't know who was going to win. The Rams had just moved back to L.A. They really weren't like that good. I mean, they had Gurley and Goff was looking good. I believe they had Brandon Cooks maybe. But
was that the year they went to Super Bowl?
I think either that year or the next year.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was just a back and forth game, and it was just a really good game.
So my third game was the 2016 National Championship for college basketball when North Carolina and Villanova faced off, and Villanova ended up hitting a game winner.
I hate that game.
Oh, I forget you're a North Carolina.
I mean, I'm
fan.
not a North Carolina fan, but I always just liked it.
Well, yeah, you know, like
Who was that guy on North Carolina hit that crazy shot?
Marcus Page.
Yeah. I still can't believe that went in.
I can't. I mean, it was like a double clutch.
it was the double clutch and then
Yeah.
big play after that.
That was
And
a
then-
really good game.
Chris Jenkins just comes down and
My third one was OU Georgia, the playoff game. I'm pretty confident saying I think OU only had 1 third down in the entire first half. Was like just moving the ball and the 1 third down was like the Philly special where they CD threw it to Baker. So they were cruising, and then there's something weird that happened with the kickoff right before halftime to give.
Yeah.
So Georgia kicked a field goal, and I think if that doesn't happen, OU has all the momentum, and they might have blown them out.
OU tried to squib it.
Yeah.
And Georgia returned it like to the 30.
Yeah. So then Hot Rod destroyed a
Yeah.
kick.
with like almost no time left
Yeah.
too.
And
Yeah.
it got it to like maybe like
It's like a
40 possession.
17-point game
Yeah.
instead of 20
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. And it gave him life, really.
Yeah. And then they had that pretty big comeback.
My third game was last year's regional when we played Arkansas the second time, and that game was back and forth the whole game. And the amount of people that were there, that was probably the loudest I've ever heard that stadium, and it wasn't even close to being full. So I can't imagine what it would have been like if we had all the students there.
I mean, pretty much that whole day.
Yeah.
Got down a ton to Missouri State and then scored several to win that one.
My third one, Bubba Watson in 2021 hit a shot on the last hole, I think, to make the cut. It was a lot. It didn't get recognized as much as 2012 just because it wasn't really clutch. It was just to make the cut or whatever. And he says it was harder than his one in 2012. Like it was a better shot. So I saw the shot and the gap is like a foot. So it was just really cool to watch that. Vintage Bubba.
My third one was Baylor versus OK State in the 2020-2021 basketball or Big 12 tournament. The second game to Gare's West Virginia OK State game. Obviously, we were underdogs in both of those games, and then we beat Baylor. I think we won by like 12 or 14.
Yeah, it wasn't very close.
Yeah, and we broke away at the end, and like every Baylor fan in the arena was like in shock.
And we were down 10 at halftime too.
Yeah, it didn't look very good, and obviously we had Cade Cunningham that year, and he was just a special player, and yeah, it was. I don't know. It was really weird because nobody actually thought we
I
had
mean,
a
really,
chance.
truly, we had no business winning that game.
No, I mean, not really, but still, it was great.
So my fourth game was the 2013 Iron Bowl, which was Alabama-Auburn. People call it the kick six game at the very end. Alabama tried to hit a field goal to either take the lead
Just to win it.
Was to win it. And then Auburn returned the field goal.
I would say almost nearly every sports fan
Chris
can
Davis.
see that moment.
And even hear
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I was like, I can hear it better and I can
Yeah.
see it. You can hear the call.
Pretty much both announcers. The
Yeah.
Auburn one and the ESPN.
And I can even see like Nick Saban's face, like walking to like.
Yeah, taking his headset off.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Are you?" He almost retired after that game. I don't know if
Really?
you saw it. It came out this year that he was almost retiring after that game, and he was gonna go fill in for someone on College Game Day.
Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Nuggets. Russell Westbrook's 42nd triple-double that broke Oscar Robertson's record. I'm pretty sure he had 50 points, 16 assists, and 10 rebounds. No, flipped the rebounds and the assists. And then he hit the game winner, which was ridiculously
Nearly
far.
from half court.
Yeah. And Kyle Singler almost messed it all up.
Yeah.
I remember that. We were in those orange uniforms.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you can hear that moment too. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
My fourth one back to the regional last year when we beat Missouri State to not get eliminated in that tournament. We were down 12-0 going into the fourth inning, and we came back and won 29-15.
Yeah.
That was like almost unheard of.
Yeah.
You really don't come back from 12 in baseball ever.
And that's that's better than our win in football.
Yeah.
In scoring
We
margin.
beat them by more
Usually
in
almost
baseball.
29.
Yeah.
My fourth one is Bedlam basketball when Oklahoma had Trae Young. I just remember there was so much hype going into that game because Trae Young was on such a hot streak, and he stayed on his hot streak, and people were just trying to figure out if we had enough to be able to stop him, which we didn't stop him, but in the end we ended up winning due to, I would say, Mitchell Solomon diving on the ground, taking it from Trae Young and throwing it up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really good moments that game.
Kendall Smith.
Yeah,
He was on fire that game.
yeah, it was huge. I think Trae Young ended up having.
If it wasn't 50, it was real close.
Yeah. I think Lindy did good that game.
He shot 8 times that game though.
Oh, dude, he probably took 50 shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was like the 3 possessions in a row where he snapped Shine or Averett,
Yeah.
like 3 possessions in a row
Yeah.
from the same exact spot. Did
My next game is Game 7 of the NBA Finals in 2016. I mean, I didn't actually think that the Cavs had any chance to come back in that series down 3-1, but you don't really see Game 7 comebacks a lot, and that one was pretty historic because LeBron and Kyrie had 82 points in Game 6 combined, and then obviously the shot and the block. I don't even like the Cavs. I don't even like LeBron or Kyrie, but I mean, it was just cool to watch because you couldn't believe it. So.
I mean, at that point, you're probably rooting for them to.
Oh
beat the
yeah,
Warriors.
I was because we blew the 3-1 lead.
Yeah.
Couple weeks
The
prior.
shot and the block are probably 2 of the more iconic
Yeah.
moments in recent history.
And-
My last game was the 2020 AFC champion or 2022 AFC championship between the Chiefs and the Bills. Even though the Bills lost, it was still probably the best football game I've ever watched.
That was a very good game.
Stupid coin toss.
Yeah,
You
they
know.
could change that, but that's
Bengals.
Well, it's not that big of a deal.
It's
but-
changing in the playoffs this year.
Is it
now.
actually?
Yeah, so I think you get a second chance in the playoffs this year.
Oh, sweet. But yeah, it was so back and forth. Chiefs had we scored I think 8 seconds. Had 8 seconds to go kick a field goal. Tyreek Hill happens, kick the field goal, take it to overtime.
Yeah, tough time.
You know, it happens.
Mine was the 2011 Game 6 of the World Series from the Cardinals and the Rangers. The whole game was just wild because the studs in the field were making errors. The pitchers didn't throw very well. And then it was pretty back and forth. Breeze hit, obviously, the triple off the wall to tie it. But before that or after it, Berkman hit a single up the middle to tie the game after Josh Hamilton hit like a 2-run home run, and that was after the freeze one, I'm pretty sure. And then Freeze later in extras hit the home run to give us the win, and we kicked the snot out of them in Game 7.
My last one was the 2009 Super Bowl with the Steelers and the Cardinals. And that game had Kurt Warner for the Cardinals, which that's a whole nother story because he pretty much defied everything to get there. But that game was back and forth, and then Santonio Holmes had the definition of a toe tap catch in the end zone to take the lead with time running out. Pretty much sealed the deal for the Steelers.
Especially to be able to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Off of. Yeah. My last moment was 2012. Bubba Watson hit a 40-yard hook to win the Masters against Louis Oosthuizen. Earlier I said it probably wasn't his best shot ever, but just the moment and what he had to do in order to win, it was just really amazing.
My last one is UFC 269. It was, just one of the craziest nights in UFC history. Oliveira beat Poirier pretty handedly after the first 2 rounds. Juliana Pena with the biggest upset in the history of women's MMA. Kai France knocks out Cody Garbrandt. Sean O'Malley knocks out Paiva. Tai Tuivasa. It just had a bunch of fighters on that card that it was just amazing, and knockouts after knockouts and submissions. So just a great fight night, and yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of games, and we're obviously going to be a little biased towards like our favorite teams and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because you could mention like most of the playoff games for football have been it's like Ohio State, Clemson. Those
Yeah.
games are good.
Yeah.
So we wanted to hear what your guys' favorite games you ever watched.
Thank you guys for watching. Like you said, comment down below what game you guys like most.